Hey, this is episode 20 of Pint with the Coach, and today we're going to talk about habits and kind of how to make fitness a habit here too. And our beer today comes from Wagner Brewing. They are up in the Finger Lakes on Seneca Lake up there. This is probably one of my favorite beers. It's called Sled Dog. It's a Doppelbock. It's 8.5, but it doesn't taste like 8.5, which makes it a little bit dangerous. But it's just a really good beer. It's one that you can't really find around here too often. So with fitness as a habit, the podcast I was listening to recently, they were interviewing James Clear, who writes a lot of books and writes a blog and things like that. And one of the things that he was talking about in there with habits is that most people look at them wrong, and they look at 90 days to create a habit or 21 times in a row to get things in a habit. And that's kind of looking more at habit as like a goal, where the habit's basically a lifestyle choice. It's something that you never really achieve it, because if you stop doing it, it's no longer a habit. And kind of got me thinking a little bit about with fitness and things like that. Like you'll hear people say, okay, I just need to get back into the habit of working out and things like that. And it's something that kind of gets developed by the lifestyle choice that you choose to make, and the way you view yourself. Are you a person that works out, or are you a person that doesn't work out, or does something else? And sometimes habits can be environmental. They can be supported by what is around you. So if you have things that kind of trigger you to think about working out or whatever you're trying to change, that'll create the likelihood that you're going to do it. Where if you always go home straight after work and you decide and say, hey, then I'm going to go to the gym, but once you get home there's something else to do, or maybe you sit down on the couch or whatever, and then you kind of it's hard to get yourself back out the door. Where if you just go straight from work or something like that. So fitness, it's basically just a habit. Most people, when they start into it, with too big of a goal, or trying to make it too lofty of a habit, where they feel like they need to be doing 60 minutes every day, or they need to, something that's just maybe not realistic for them right now, where they'd be better off of setting, not even the goal, just setting the intention of, I'm going to go twice a week, and getting in and getting those two. And if you have a week where something happens and you missed it, you didn't fail. It's, you intended to go twice, you only made it once. This week we're going to get back twice. But sometimes even that's too big for people, and something that, I've been kind of thinking about for certain people, it might be right to, you're going to start with the habit of, I just want you to do 10 push-ups, I want you to do 10 squats every day. And it's one of those things, the push-ups, they don't even have to be on the floor. They can be up against the wall or on a countertop. And the squats can be with weight, they can be assisted, just 10 of each. And it's one of those things where you may say that you're going to do it every morning as soon as you get up. And you might forget about it in the morning, but what will happen throughout the day or in the evening, even if you get to bed, you're like, oh, I didn't do it. You can just do it real quick. It doesn't take a huge time commitment. And you're just kind of building off that. And you can kind of even make that like a 10-day challenge for you, that you're going to go 10 days in a row doing that. And that will start setting that habit of you're a person that does exercise. And eventually what will happen is you'll start doing a few more of those. Maybe you'll add some other stuff to it. Maybe you're adding weight while you're squatting. But eventually it's probably going to lead to you going into a gym, maybe hiring a coach to get some help and things like that. And once you get to that point, what you want to do is, again, not set yourself like, I'm going to go to the gym every day for, X number of weeks or something. Set it up for, I want to get there twice a week and get my workout in, or I want to get there 3 times a week, or something like that. So once you have that down, you also need to think about what some of the barriers to going to the gym could be. A lot of people, it's packing their clothes, it's things like that. Like I hear a lot from members like, oh, I forgot my shoes today, or things like that. We kind of tell them like, you're just gonna go in your bare feet or your socks today, or whatever with that, and that works. But for a lot of people, if they forget their shoes, that's enough of a barrier that they're not going to show up. They're just going to drive home. They may say they're going to pick them back up, but then they put the dog out, they throw a load of clothes in, phone rings, they turn the TV on, whatever, and they just don't make it back out. So you kind of have a little checklist the night before of what needs done, because if you don't have your stuff ready the night before and you say you're going to do it in the morning, you're not going to do it. You're going to sleep in, something's going to happen, you're not going to want to take the time, maybe you're going to start reading something, checking your phone, whatever, but you're not going to have time to get your stuff ready. So the night before, make sure you've got your workout clothes, shorts, a shirt. Make sure that you've got your shoes, they're all in a bag. Make sure you have a water bottle. Some people, their gym doesn't have water. They don't have a fountain or anything. We always have like Culligan and bottles and stuff here, but make sure you have a water bottle. Maybe you need a towel, maybe you need some different things like that. So whatever you need, make sure that you have it all together, and then either put it by your work bag, your briefcase, your keys, whatever. If you need to, throw it in your car. I know some people that it'll be sitting there beside their keys, but then they're like, they've got their lunch in one hand, their work bag in another hand. They're like, I don't have a hand for it, I'm gonna go back in, and they just leave it. Like, I'll do it tomorrow or whatever. So basically just finding what the barriers are to that habit, and then doing what needs done to take those away. And then basically the last thing that it's a little bit of a game that I like, and this actually I heard the first time was from Jerry Seinfeld when he was kind of in the big part of his career. He would take a calendar and he would just put an X on each day that he wrote a new joke, and he would try to see how long of a chain of X's he would get, and he found that the more that having that X on there, he wanted to get that chain longer and longer, and as that chain got longer, the motivation to come up with something new or to do something, or whatever it is you're trying to accomplish, gets a lot stronger and a lot harder, because you don't want to break that chain. So those are just some tips on that. Kind of how to look at fitness as it is a habit, but it's also it's a lifestyle, and it's at certain times in your life you're going to be working out more than others, but it's just kind of always being making that conscious choice of going to work out, and then if there's something that's throwing a barrier up for you, figuring out what that barrier is and how to take it away so that it's not an excuse or whatever keeping you out of the workout. So, all right, talk to you guys next week.